I think there can be a connection, but you got to have logic and reason first. I completely agree with that. But logic and reason in a different way. I think that logic and reason can be applied to things of faith, but you're completely going into the unknown. You're completely going into a place that it's like you have no idea where your life is going, what you believe you have, and you're in complete darkness, and you actually have to rely on the left side of your brain, the logical and reasonable side, to say, how am I going to navigate this? And that's been my whole process and journey with this whole thing of like, what do I believe? Like, is God real? All this kind of stuff. Like, obviously, my right brain wants to dream, and I want to be like, oh, I felt this thing, and so that must be God, or there was synchronicity, and all these little things lined up, so there must be a God. But like, my left brain is like, wait, hold on a minute. Like, let's actually look at these things and examine these things first, and then decide where to go from there. Because if God is real, then you are in this dark night of the soul, and you need to walk through it. And you're not gonna get anywhere. You're just gonna go back to that old way of thinking with just depending on your right brain and just depending on these little ideas and all the feelings that you feel and all that kind of thing. So I do think that logic and reason can be applied to faith. And I think that if you are going through, like if you are trying to figure out if God exists and you're going through something like the dark night of the soul, it's difficult to go through that if you don't honestly depend on, in some ways, logic and reason. That it's like, well, if God does exist, then the logical thing to do is to question, is to doubt, is to be skeptical, is to walk this path of, wait, let me closely look and examine all of these things first. And so I completely agree with your statement, that logic and reason can't, well, okay. So you're saying that logic and reason comes first. I don't necessarily think that, but I do think that logic and reason can be applied to faith when belief isn't there.